we're going to start off with you singing the song. Go ahead.
Is that right?
Yeah. How's the song go?
Which one?
Jesus.
I'm not singing that.
Jesus.
You can take it.
Oh, what a wonderful child.
It will stay in your head forever, though.
Jesus. Yeah. Okay. Let's get serious.
Good luck.
What's going on, everybody? Worship Pastor Luke Littrell. So glad you're with us. We're on episode 31.
31.
And we have a special guest, Pastor RJ, Dr. RJ. Welcome, brother.
Thanks for having me.
This is your, fourth time on here?
Yeah.
Third time.
I think third. Yeah.
And you didn't wear the same shirt. We were thinking about that.
We were worried about that, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
To be fair, I wear a lot of patterns, mostly plaid.
Do you? That's like your go-to?
I guess.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I wear a lot
comfort zone.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I like stripes.
You do like stripes.
I do.
Those are some small stripes today, though.
Yep.
So, mixing it up a little.
Bro, you spoke Sunday morning. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm going
What
way
day
back.
is it?
You spoke Sunday morning. Talk to us about what you spoke on and what you taught about and preached about.
Yeah. Had the privilege of carrying the Thread of Faith series forward and focusing on Isaac. It was a fun challenge. I'm not going to lie. Like you read in the Word, it was not an exaggeration.
Yeah.
Like obviously Isaac's important, but there's not a whole lot of information about his life compared to Abraham and Jacob and even Joseph for that matter. And so, but what's really interesting this morning, and this is wild to me.
Yeah.
But in my personal study, I'm in Exodus. Started Exodus today. And he was referred to as the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Mm-hmm. So I was like,
there you go.
There it is. It was just really cool. Just because you don't hear that often. It's normally God of Jacob or God of Abraham. But then to Moses, it was
I like that.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
I want to talk on something that you talked about yesterday about having like an ordinary testimony or how you phrased that. I thought that was so good. And really growing up throughout my life, I felt that.
Right.
And I think a lot of people that usually grow up in church feel that. But I want to dive deeper into that and see where that thought came from or where you came up with that.
Honestly, a Warren Wiersbe sermon.
Yeah.
No joke. I was searching Spotify for some sermon podcasts on Isaac.
Okay.
Found this one from, I don't even know what year it was in.
Yeah.
But man, it was good. And it was actually about all three because he was referencing, I guess it was 17 through 21.
Yeah.
To where he's talking about, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph. But he touched on each of them and used that kind of terminology to help describe the people in the congregation. And I was like, man, that really resonates with me because that's my testimony.
Yeah, tell us your testimony.
A big part of it is I've always been a little insecure about it, if I'm being honest, especially in sharing my faith, because I feel like I have a vanilla testimony. I'm a pastor's kid. My dad was a bivocational minister for 35 years and grew up in church. I was there every time the doors were open. I knew every answer. Thought I was saved at 8 because everybody in my Sunday school class decided to walk forward one day. I was like, I guess we're doing this. So did that because, I knew the answers. Like I knew of Jesus. Yeah. But it wasn't until I was 11 or 12. Yeah. I was at one of my sister's concerts, actually, that it just really struck me.
That's cool.
I know about him. Yeah. But I don't know him. But the insecurity comes in with the vanilla side because you try to share. You don't have this dramatic story in other people's eyes, or at least how I would say Christians tend to think about the most powerful testimonies we hear. Mm-hmm. I don't have a lot of, thankfully, and I consider this a blessing. I don't have a lot of trauma in my past. Right. I don't have, a broken family. Yeah. God has been gracious in that way. But, it's one thing when I'm sharing how to share your faith. Right. That there is nothing more dramatic, cosmically and spiritually, than God bringing someone from death to life. Yeah. And so for me, that has been the kind of, motivating factor to realize like my vanilla testimony is cool. It's fine. Yeah. Like God still did an incredible thing. Yeah. But for those that just kind of feel like maybe I don't have the same type of ministry as other people because I don't have this history, I don't have this testimony, or even a desire to get in certain trenches. Right. We sometimes feel less than.
Yeah.
And I don't know that that's at all appropriate.
Sure.
Because, I mean, the kingdom's built up of how many unique people, right? It's like billions over history. So it's just, I don't know. I think it's an encouragement to us to realize a normal, steady, assured faith is something that people who don't have a normal, steady, assured faith need to see, to have those people in community with them.
Right.
And then again, that's kind of like that intersection and also interlocking of, testimonies that help build community, build faith communities, because we need each other in that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody that maybe has the opposite testimony? Somebody that's been through some of that trauma, some of that hurt, some of the church hurt, or just living life of the flesh. What would you say to them?
I would say just kind of what we touched on at the end in chapter 28.
Yeah.
Do not be afraid.
Yeah.
For I am with you.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's the testimony that matters to all of us. But for those that have a shaky foundation, in the sense of their past.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, I don't know their situation, but it would make sense to me.
Yeah.
That to come from an unfirm footing.
Yeah.
Into the firm footedness of an assured faith, knowing that he's with us and that he encourages us not to be afraid.
Yeah.
That would be what I would point them to. And honestly, try to plug them in with some of those that have a different past.
Exactly.
Because, I mean, you know how it is. Like, we do sharpen each other. There's a reason for that. But those people who have a more quote-unquote dramatic testimony than mine, it's impactful in my life for a reason.
Absolutely.
Like, there's obviously an incredible story there.
Yeah.
That God can do such incredible things.
Yep.
But again, I want to point back to the fact that anyone coming out of darkness into light is an incredibly dramatic thing.
Absolutely.
And God is good in that way.
I think we sometimes forget about that. We forget about, even if we did have a vanilla testimony, like you said, we just, I was a sinner, but now I'm saved. Like, man, that's life-changing. That's incredible.
It's anything but vanilla.
Exactly.
So we got to say that tongue in cheek, right? Like
exactly. Yeah.
We got to be careful.
Yeah.
I can say it about my own, but I'm not going to say it about yours. But it is, you do feel the sense of pressure. Like, man, I just don't know that I measure up in how to relay the gospel. I'm like, you got plenty to share.
Something that you hit on yesterday, and I think you've preached 3 times. Was this your 3rd time?
Yep.
The 2 other times you've preached, I've noticed, and it's something I really enjoy about your preaching, is that you like to give the senses like you're in that place. And I loved that. And I loved hearing you talk about the shaking of the wood as Isaac's carrying it up the mountain, like maybe some of his thoughts. And can you touch on that a little bit and where that comes from? And that's really cool. I enjoy that because I'm such a visual person, but I'm also a very auditory person. So when you give that description of Isaac and Abraham walking up the mountain to make a sacrifice, those are probably things that are not mentioned in the Bible, but they would have probably been there.
Right. And I mean, this is a balance, right? Like, you don't want to provide too much conjecture, but I would say, honestly, a lot of it comes from 10 years in college ministry.
Yeah.
And realizing 3 years in my second post in college ministry, once we moved to Tuscaloosa, that biblical literacy out the door. Or having any type of, I guess that someone would know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When we were preaching on a Tuesday night for our college worship gathering, couldn't use the word sin without explaining it. Couldn't use the word gospel without explaining it. So you get to the point where you're like, I want to give context.
Yeah, that's good.
Because 1, 2, they're having stuff storied to them all the time.
Right.
That's become a verb now. Right.
Yeah, storied. I like it.
Yeah. So, and I mean, you see that in our context, like culturally, everything revolves around a really brief glimpse into someone's life. We have all these reels being published, all of those things. So how are we storing the gospel? We don't have to add to it, but can we help people visualize it?
Right.
And I mean, I don't want to take too much license ever.
Sure.
But it does help me too, because I'm fairly visual as well. Yeah. And gosh, I mean, some of my heroes in preaching, Dr. Robert Smith Jr. for one.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, he has memorized the entire Bible. I'm pretty sure. He's just that guy. And he just has a way of, he knows it so intimately that when he relays it, he can relay it emotionally.
Right.
And so I'm like, I want to progress in that. I want to be able to do that as a preacher and a teacher in general. Like, how can we help people? Because I think the most, impactful teachers I had, even in the classroom, were the ones that painted pictures visually, right, in my mind. And I remember a high school literature teacher I had. It was my favorite class. Yeah. It was 9th grade literature, set the bar super high. for the rest of my tenure in high school. But it was because he engaged our minds, not just in what we were reading or what we had to know, but how we could know it.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's kind of where it is. And so how can we do that? And I don't want to do it all the time. Sometimes it's just like, I think I'm just kind of bent in that direction anyways. Yeah. But yeah. And I would say too, I was corrected pretty early on in my preaching of this is formulaic. Right. So like you're giving us good information, but we're not hearing you. And again, I'm referencing Dr. Smith again. Maybe he can send me some royalties checks. I don't know. But he was quoting someone else, and I'm pretty sure it was Brian Chappell or someone else like that. But that preaching is scripture through personality. And so if that's the case, then I got to let the Lord use who I am to preach as well. And I mean, I think you see that in everyone who's filled our pulpit here. Yeah. Right. I mean, we all do it differently. Right. And I think that comes through. And so for me, I do like to incorporate some of those elements. Really cool.
I want to talk about so giving context to what we talked about if you weren't here, we're in Hebrews and going through the thread series and we're talking about Isaac and you kind of went back into reference. Talk about some of those references and then maybe the biggest takeaway at the end. For somebody that wasn't here, what was the takeaway? What was the main point of yesterday?
Yeah, again, with Isaac, I feel like it's really easy to say that his history matters because of his father and his sons. Yeah. But his sons don't exist without the Lord using him. And so, again, understanding that we have a part to play in God's story because we're invited into that, even though we're not necessary. Yeah. He extends that invitation for us to be part of the kingdom growing, for us sharing, all those things. That, to me, is a personal encouragement. Yeah. Because we get so caught up in the everyday that sometimes we feel like we're not doing enough. Yep. When in fact, the fact that I'm trying to love my wife well and serve her and lead her, but also my children and show them Jesus as much as I can, in spite of the moments where I probably have a temper tantrum. Sure. But that's ministry. Yeah. It's faithful.
That's your first ministry.
It's my first earthly ministry for sure. And so it's like, that stuff matters. The everyday matters. And so when I look at Isaac, he is the everyday guy, right? He's the ordinary person. But he was faithful, at least in what we know about him. Yeah. Because even he and Rebecca's story, they got married. I mean, we don't know where he was when the servants were searching for Rebecca or when the servant was sent out by Abraham. Because it tells us when she is coming back with the servant, she sees him in the field returning to where Abraham is. So he's not with his dad. Yeah. And I'm like, where's he been? Yeah. Right? Yeah. I mean, he's doing his own thing. Is he out with the herds? What is he doing? We don't really have context for that. But he sees Rebecca, and it's not this, I mean, she might measure up. Yeah. He sees Rebecca, and to me, it's this, again, testament to this is who the Lord has provided for me. Yeah. And I know it's a different context. Sure. But, like, this is who the Lord has provided for me. And it says he took her as his wife. Like, it was very quick. There was no, courting period or let's see how this works out. It was look what the Lord has given. But beyond that, 20 years of prayer for children.
It's wild.
I mean, it doesn't hold a candle necessarily to how long Abraham and Sarah were waiting. But again, you see that testament of Abraham and Sarah in his life, knowing prayer works, God is faithful.
He saw it firsthand.
Yeah, exactly. It was modeled for him, but he acted on it himself. Yeah. So to me, that is the takeaway. Yeah. Right? We have the promise of the Lord given and fulfilled through Jesus. Yeah. And there is a call upon our lives to act on the promise. Yeah. If we have been redeemed, we can trust that it's true. Yep. But he does call us to participate. Right. And that's an invitation. It's a privilege. Yeah. Because, he doesn't need us to do it, but he invites us into it. And I don't know. I think that becoming part of the everyday rhythm and understanding that that's who I'm meant to be as an quote unquote ordinary follower of Jesus is actually really extraordinary compared to the world.
There's a part where you talked about kind of like a legacy faith with Isaac and Abraham. I want to kind of dive into that. And maybe you even talked about how maybe you might have a parent that overshadows what you do, or a sibling or a family member. Talk through that a little bit. That was a really good point. Yeah. I think somebody needs to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's part of my testimony too. Sure. I mean, my sister was an incredible student. She's still, she's brilliant. Yeah. She's ahead of me, 3 years older. She was valedictorian at our high school. Okay. I was a freshman being like, great job, sis. And it had nothing to do with anybody else except for me. And like understanding, okay, she set the bar really high. Every teacher I had that she had was always like, oh, you're Allison's brother, right? And I mean, we joke about it now, but I mean, she is brilliant. Like, she's a wonderful person, very, very gifted. But there is this sense in which, like, that ties in and it relates. I relate to it because of that. But I think we often compare ourselves to people that we consider to be giants in the faith. And how easy would it have been for his son, Isaac, to look at Abraham and be like, I can never be you.
Right.
And just stop.
Right.
And I mean, there might have been a moment in his life where that was the case. Maybe that is why he separated from his father for a while. You know, there's a comedian out there, somebody brought it up to me in between services yesterday, that talks about the last recorded conversation we had between Isaac and Abraham is on the mountain. So maybe there was some drama there. I'm sure there was some tension. But I like to think that it was really just at that moment, Isaac is, I mean, Rebecca comes in his life when he's 40.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we don't have a real clue of when he was on the mountain with Abraham and then, like, how long that was.
Sure.
But you can probably estimate at least 15, maybe 20 years.
Yeah.
And so what is he doing in the meantime? I think he's probably following the example, knowing what life is supposed to look like of faith. But always sitting under the shadow of not just his dad's testimony and what God has done in his life, but also what he was born for.
Yeah.
You know, that was really something I would have loved to explore more if we had more time. And I feel like you could probably spend a month on Isaac and just really not mine all the depths there. But even the expectations and feeling the weight of expectation, being the child of promise at that point, and then, you know, seeing that borne out in your life. I don't know. It just, that legacy part of that, especially when the tension with someone who might overshadow you is the temptation to sit idly by.
Yeah.
Right. Versus saying, okay, the expectations on me might be high, but God be praised that he sees that I might be able to help with this. And it doesn't rely on your shoulders because he's the one who's got it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's giving you responsibility.
Right.
And I don't know. I see that in him. Yeah. But more than that, what's most obvious to me about Isaac, and I think there's a reason why we're covering it in this way, is he does have an eye to the future.
Yeah.
He does understand that no matter what his part is to play, it is a part in what God is doing. And so is he a conduit for what's next? Of course.
Yeah.
Because God has deemed it so. But at the same time, that doesn't minimize who he is or what he's supposed to be doing. And so for us, the legacy of faith thing, I think, really resonates because it can be part of the everyday, but that doesn't mean that it's ordinary. Right? Yeah. So, like, it's, okay, this is my call. It's part of what gets me out of bed in the morning.
Right.
Right, is I get to go and share. I'm being used in this way. And whoever's coming after me, I would love to leave it better than I found it.
That's right.
In the sense of the access they have to the gospel, what we're doing in the community.
Yeah.
Right, how we're showing Jesus and what our culture is like and how it's being affected because there's a gospel presence that takes that seriously.
That's really good. The last part that I want to go over, we got about a couple minutes here, but this was a good picture that you drew again, kind of giving a visual. Isaac was probably not a toddler. He probably wasn't a teenager as well, so maybe somewhere in between. Old enough to carry the wood and ask questions, right?
Right.
I thought it was interesting that you brought up that he didn't resist his father. Putting yourself in those shoes, man.
Yeah.
As a father and as a son, what did you draw from that, and how you brought that in their message?
I don't know. I feel like I probably resonate more with Abraham than I do in Isaac in that moment. Like, I feel like I would struggle more as a father.
That your son's not resisting.
Well, just the fact that I'm being asked to do it.
Sure.
Right. Like, I feel like I would struggle more with that request versus being the son looking at my father on earth that I do trust, being like, okay, he's doing this. I don't maybe fully understand it. And the weird part is too, like, scholars really like debate that age. Sure. I mean, it's anywhere from being like a tween up to like 25. Yeah. I mean, you just don't know. And in their lifespan, it really kind of feels like it's going to be teenage age regardless or right before. And so you're already questioning a lot. I mean, of course, we're looking at this anachronistically, like we're projecting what we feel here. Right. But at the same time, I don't know. There's a sense in which I feel like if I had an earthly, tangible person that I trusted when I was kind of confused, it would be a little bit easier to kind of submit, maybe. I don't know, even though he felt threatened. Versus being the one asked to do the sacrificing. And so, and I mean, we tend to focus a lot more on Abraham's tension there anyways. Absolutely. For that reason. But I don't know, man. I mean, at the same time, when you see your dad, I'm sure he's incredibly emotional. Yeah. Right. Turning to bind you. That was the one that stuck with me.
Sure.
Not even raising the dagger. Like in my mind, the visual, speaking of the visuals, turning toward me after having assembled everything.
Yeah.
Turning toward me, if I were Isaac, with the rope in his hand. Like, I don't know. That's kind of what. Because at that moment, that's the moment. That's the tension point.
Right.
Because Isaac, in that moment, is either I flee or I submit.
Yep.
You know?
Are your kids calling you father now?
No. I really... my father is probably not ever going to happen in my house.
That's good.
You know what really came out of this too for me though? Yeah. And like, this is just a side note. And if I ever go back to school, Casey, don't worry, I'm not doing it right now. But if I ever go back to school and try to pursue something different with this, just that phrase, here I am, is repeated time and time and time again. From Abraham through Moses even and beyond. Like there are just moments, you know, even in Isaiah.
Right.
Right. Just that it's actually Hebrew was hineni, right? It's just, it's really, here am I, behold. Right? Like it's just this really weird English translation, but it is this, I'm available.
Yeah.
Right. God speaks. Where are you? Here I am. You know? And I don't know, that word study.
That's good.
I'm been geeking out on that one in my mind.
That's good stuff right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never thought of most of the Old Testament.
Oh, it's repeated often.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because God knows where you are.
Absolutely.
But he asks, maybe he wants you to respond.
Oh, yeah.
And we respond with, here I am, Lord, use me. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I always go to songs when I think of Scripture. I think that's just how my brain's wired, but there was an old song we used to sing, Here am I, Lord.
Yeah.
Take and use me. So that's good. Anything else before we head out, man? Good stuff, bro. It was a good sermon. Look forward to hearing you preach again. And anything else, discipleship? We're starting up midweek. We're starting all the things back into the groove. The kids started school today. How were your kids on the way to school? Were they excited?
It was a mixture of nervous excitement. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
No, I mean, they did great. You'll laugh at this.
Yeah.
So Knox this morning was a little more nervous than I think he normally is.
Okay.
I'm not really sure why. Which, if you know Knox, he's just kind of fun-loving, always kind of going. But he was kind of solemn, and I didn't really know what was going on. So I was like, we got to lighten the mood. So on the way to the school, I was like, you know what'll fix this?
I know.
What is it?
Is it the song?
Which song?
I don't know. Which one did you play?
No, actually, I turned on the Worshikin' YouTube channel because they had never seen it, and I just thought it was funny. It was fresh on my mind because you and I had talked about it
man.
a week and a half ago.
Waymaker.
And, we didn't. you're but man, it was the
Did
fix.
It cheer him up?
Oh my gosh.
That's good.
They were like, what is this? Why has this not been in our life sooner? And I was like, this was one of those moments where, am I proud as a dad? Yes. But should I be? I don't know.
If you don't know what worshikin' is, it's a rubber chicken.
Yeah.
And they're squeezing it to the tune of Waymaker.
Or there's actually a bajillion of them now.
There's a whole playlist full.
I mean, we did Graves in the Gardens as we were turning. It was, we did, there's one, This Is Amazing Grace, but it started with, the traditional hymn. Yeah. And it had a choir of the chickens.
No way.
It was fantastic.
That's pretty great.
I hadn't seen that one until then. That was great.
We'll link that in the description of
Yeah, please do. It's worth a look. Also, Closed on Sunday by Kanye West is now covered by Worshikin', and so that one's interesting. But
oh man.
Yeah. No, but when it comes, bringing it back to what I do here.
Yeah.
Yeah, kickoff Sundays next week.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so we're excited about that. And
are you going to wear Florida State stuff?
Oh, no question. Okay. There is no need to have the mystery veiled over me. It's fine for Heath, but there's one first love when it comes to sports for me.
That's right.
I'm leaning more into the Jags thing. It's being reignited in my life. I mean, I was here from the beginning with that.
Yeah.
But I had the old school stuff that you can't wear anymore because of the Jaguar lawsuit. But
yeah.
So I don't have a whole lot of gear anymore for that.
Tennessee Vols all the way.
Yeah, it's just an eyesore. No offense. It's also probably from my tenure being in Tuscaloosa, but
Tennessee beat Florida State in 1998 for the national championship.
That is true.
That's the last time we won.
Yeah.
And that's all we can say
for
now.
Focus on it. Yeah. And what's great though is, we won it the next year.
Yep.
Yeah. And then it took another 14 years for the next one to happen. And we're probably in the season of the next 14 years
that's
of
okay.
drought. But we've beaten Alabama twice
there you
in that
go.
tenure. So
there
there's that. But yeah, well, we talked about what kind of convention it looks like out of Tennessee.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, bro.
Yeah, so kickoff weekends next Sunday.
It's gonna be awesome.
And then we just have a lot coming up. Midweek starts soon. We have we have leader training this week.
Yeah.
We have preview night next week for midweek. And so it's going to be a really good semester.
It's a great time. All cylinders until Christmas. I mean, we're just full throttle until then. So Christmas is coming. We're going to end with the Christmas song, right? You're going to sing it?
No. I'm not going to do that.
Maybe the worship chicken does that one.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
If not, maybe we can request it.
That's right. Yeah. All right, bro. Tell them bye. Look into your camera and tell them bye.
All right. Hey, thanks for having me. We'll see you later.
We'll see you next time. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe with everyone. We'll see you later.